Alright, time for our second to final part looking at Next Fest of June 2026. There's only going to be 2 parts left of many more fantastic indie games that you should definitely be checking out. And with that, let's get to our entry today. We're starting things off with Bills Must Be Paid. This is another in the incremental style. You have bills to pay and piggy banks to smash. Now, this kind of design is more on the time-based side. Each round, you have X amount of stamina to pop as many piggy banks as you can using your hammer. After the round is over, the money that you earn can be used to both pay your bills and add perks on your ever-expanding skill tree. You can also buy different hammers that have different effects in terms of attack speed, crit damage, and more. After you pay your bills, you'll be able to choose from a different perk that will aid you going forward. And you just keep going until I guess you either run out of bills or piggy banks. The further you play, you'll also unlock different piggy banks that can show up that have additional health and modifiers to them. And I like the vibe that this game is going for. With that said, I did get to the end on my first go bout, and I'm not sure, what the length of a game like this is going to be. If it is going to have an intended end like a Luck Be a Landlord or that particular style, or do we just keep going until you can't pay your bills anymore? Still, I think another really solid incremental style. So, if you have a thing against piggy banks, and like earning money with a hammer, I would at least give this one a play. Now we go to Blood Dungeon. This is the next game from developers of Enigma Heart, and expect their very unusual art style and a lot of violence to boot. You are trapped in a dungeon and you're going to have to kill a lot of things to hopefully get out. The game kind of goes for like a bullet heaven, like auto style. Your weapons fire independently. As you pick up different resources, you'll be able to level up, get access to different weapons that will then do more murdering. I like the movement in the game that you'll be able to walk, jump, run, climb, shimmy, and other things to avoid the enemies. The further you'll play, you'll unlock new weapons and things that can show up, including new arenas. Like our last game, I'm not quite sure how large this game is going to be in terms of content and more things to do. And if you're not a fan of the kind of like auto battler, again like bullet heaven style, I don't know if it's going to quite work for you, but it's still a very entertaining and very strange game to play. So if you're looking for a lot of blood to go with your dungeons, I would give this one a shot. We leave the blood and guts behind to go over the hill. This is a cozy off-roading driving game, kind of like a more peaceful version of something like a Mud Runner style. You have the entire outdoors to explore in your vehicle. You can play this with friends as we'll go for a nice little tour around. As you explore, you'll acquire different cosmetics and can also find new parts to equip onto your vehicle in order to do that off-roading better. Now you have to be careful as you don't want to send them to too many trees or jump into the river. And you also have your handy dandy winch to get yourself out of any stuck positions. And that is this game. Just a very cozy, very relaxing game, no matter how much I try not to make it like that. And yeah, if you are a fan of the great outdoors and going on a nice little cozy weekend drive, I recommend you give this one a play, and hopefully you bump into less trees than I did during my play. And we switch up from casual to ultra hardcore with Casualties Unknown. This game dares to ask the question, did you really love Spelunky? And did you want to see it be 1,000 times harder than it was? Well, then this is the game for you. You play creatures who have been genetically engineered to, well, go on suicide missions for an evil corporation, allegedly. And you must explore. Try not to kill yourself within the first 5 seconds of starting. Maintain hunger, thirst, temperature, and more. Also avoid any minor and major injuries. This is a game that It knows the audience it wants to go for, and this is incredibly challenging and difficult to play. Even going through the tutorial was met with some challenge. And while it may be a little too extreme for me, if you're someone who likes your games to be exceptionally brutally difficult, then I would highly recommend you give this one a try. But if you were a fan of our last game, then you may want to stay very far away from getting some Casualties. Alright, I promise I didn't purposely go from casual to hardcore as much on the stream. But our next game is another cozy puzzle with Hua 2. You play a little, woodland sprite who is trying to find fuel for their robot friend. And we'll have to use the local creatures and get some very fast puzzle solving done to do so. The game is kind of a mix of several different puzzle types. The first is you'll be moving throughout the kind of overworld, trying to use crabs and other critters to get from point A to point B. When you find a fuel station, it turns into this almost like platforming time trial puzzle, where you must quickly move through an area and direct the oil using different pipes to get to the exit. And you'll have to go very fast. Now, the game features different difficulties, and I'm not quite sure if the difficulty affects the speed of the puzzles or things along those lines. I really do love the art style. Now, the kind of fast-paced platforming does feel a little bit off for a game like this. While, again, this game looks like it's going to be a very peaceful game, there is a lot of rapid platforming you're going to have to do, and I can only imagine it getting far more extreme as the game progresses. So, if you don't mind a little bit of challenge, and looking to once again have a cozy time with nature, I would at least give this one a play. And now we go to The Rusted. This is a Metroidvania, when evil AI takes over the world with killer robots. It's up to our robotic man's best friend to save the day. And apparently robot dogs can not only attack, but air dash like the best of us. Our gameplay here is again classic Metroidvania. You'll explore a variety of areas, using your different moves and upgrade abilities you'll get, beat up robots, and try and save the world. I didn't see anything that again is like different for the genre, but it did feel quite good to play. And I'm interested to see what else will be in the full game. There will be a mix of puzzle solving and bad guy punching that you'll be doing. So this is going to be one for the dog lovers who want to see their favorite canine friend perhaps save the world. We go from dogs to cats with Cat Mail Co. This is a cozy post office simulator. You are the latest and newest hiree at the local post office. But when you get there, you discover that the last mailman decided to stop delivering the mail. And you now have a gigantic stack of packages and boxes that need attending to, along with the day-to-day work of getting new packages and making sure they go to their right destinations. Now, we've played horror and more stressful versions of this, and Cat Mail Co. is definitely on the cozy side. When a customer shows up, you have all the time in the world to kind of work with them, which is entirely unrealistic from actual post offices. You'll need to figure out which packages need to go to the right customers, using different clues such as their names, the size of the box, and more. When someone comes with a package that needs to be shipped, you must make sure you have the proper postage, any important notes on it, and make sure it goes to its right destination. As you complete your various tasks, you'll be able to level up, which will unlock new tools and more things to do on each day. And yeah, it's just a very cozy and kind of peaceful game to play, as long as you're not, terrified of the post office or shipping rules. So, if our last game was for the dog lovers, this is going to be for the cat lovers who also really love to get a package in the mail. And for the last game of our showcase today, we have Enigma Heart. This is, well, quite simply, an indie take on the Zelda 2 formula. When a warrior gets attacked by monsters, she loses her memory and ends up in a nice and quiet town. But the king is doing some bad things, there's monsters roaming the land, and we're going to have to walk from left to right to try and save the day. Our gameplay again should be familiar to anyone who has seen or played Zelda 2. You'll explore the overworld, get into platforming and side-scrolling combat. As you defeat enemies, you'll earn experience which can then be used to add to your attack, magic, or defense stats. You will acquire new weapons and upgrades and spells as you explore, and the game has a really nice look and style to it, especially with the cutscenes that show up. And the game does a great job of trying to marry the old school challenge of Zelda 2 with some more modern considerations. You have a live system. If you run out of lives, you'll return to your previous save with all your stock fully recovered, but you'll lose kind of any bonus experience you've earned. If I had any problem with this, is that I would have really liked like a quest log or some way to have an idea of where you should be going, as the game makes heavy use of event triggers to unlock new areas, new missions, quests, etc, etc. And if you miss a beat during the cutscenes, it can be very easy to just start stumbling around the world, trying to figure out where you're supposed to go next. Still, really great idea here, and unless you absolutely despised Zelda 2, it is a very easy recommendation and a game I really want to play more of when it is released. And with that, another part comes to an end. There's just one more left, and then we can take it easy until the next Fest. What did you think of these games? Be sure to let me know down below, and be sure to reach out and let me cover your game for a future stream. With that, everyone, have a rest, get a snack, and come back for the conclusion of our Next Fest coverage coming soon. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and you're interested in more in my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.